Good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock, so we're going to get started with our July Fireside chat. I want to welcome everybody here this morning. It was not that long ago. This was probably a year ago today. Not today, but a year ago this time last year, I was attending my first Fireside chat. Had my first year anniversary on the 10th of July, so it's awesome. So good to be here and having seen Horizon House full circle. But what a month we've had. From the assassination attempt of Donald Trump to President Biden deciding not to seek re-election, I think we can all agree that July has been chaotic. But because of this chaos, I've been thinking a lot about chaos and why it feels the way it does. And so thinking about chaos prompts you to think a lot about order. And, what does order really even mean? Is it real or is it illustrative of the bubbles that we live in? We feel order when things are going our way. They're going how we want them to go. They're going our way. But as I, started to think about my own news feed and social media and all these things, I started to realize my life is very curated. I was having some conversations with some friends back in Michigan, about the events of the last couple of weeks. And, I realized I'm in a bubble. I'm in a bubble that I'm very happy in, but it is a bubble nonetheless. And so, it's one of those things, I love technology, but, that artificial intelligence, it sends us what we want to see and what we want to hear. We can kind of block out those things we don't like. And this kind of constant loop of news, we all do it. We listen to the news outlets that tell us the news we want to hear, how we want to hear it. And so that news begins to shape our thinking, our perspective. It feeds the choices that we want. And so, we have to think about these news outlets are for profit and they're shaping our thinking. And so it really led me down a road of thinking about what is different? What can we do here? What is our opportunity at Horizon House? And really, it's our connectivity. So we are so connected here. It offers us this opportunity to have these real, meaningful conversations in person while we're using our intellect and our experiences that we're bringing to these conversations. And so I have a call to action for our residents. And that is, we have so many writers, bloggers, I'm sure podcasters, artists, or whatever the medium is that you connect with. I'm asking you to continue to have these organic conversations where you are synthesizing the thoughts of so many different people with so many different backgrounds. Start to share them in a way that is meaningful for you. This ability to take these organic conversations that you have here at Horizon House along with, these original ideas that are generated. I love when I see people having coffee out in the fireside lounge, kind of plugging through the world's issues. But this is an opportunity, all these original ideas that are generated, incorporate them along with the variety of perspectives that you are able to tap into at Horizon House to create something fresh, something new, something original, but cast it back out and share it. Because in a world where everything is curated, many people are only hearing what they want to hear. We have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to create something new, lots of experiences, but let's not just share it within Horizon House. Let's use some of the tools we have. If you're a writer, but you haven't blogged before, connect with someone so you can get your blog page up. If you're an artist, create something. If you were someone who really loves public speaking, there are so many podcasts that people would love to have you on. But I think we have something to share here, and I think it's worth sharing and that it will help in a world where most people are only hearing things that are created for profit. So that's my 2 cents for today and my call to action, because we live in such a special place. So today, as you know, we have a pretty large agenda like always. Brenda's going to come up and do our new staff introductions. We're going to have our new resident introductions by Valerie. We have a wellness update today. Joan and Emily are going to do a fun with numbers with us. Brian's got operations. Jeff's going to talk about some food service updates. And then we have Patty and Sue who are going to give us an update on our partners in caring. And then Gary's going to come up and do the resident council update, which will be great. I don't think we've had Gary up here before, so that's going to be great. And then I'll close us out with bright spots and announcements. So I am going to turn it over to Brenda.
Good morning, everyone. Well, before I actually jump into introductions, I was planning on quizzing you to find out if you know who recently celebrated a one-year anniversary here at Horizon House on July 10th. But I think if you were listening just a few minutes ago, you already know that answer. And so, Erica, if you're able to actually come back up, I want to highlight your one-year anniversary because you have been a wonderful addition to Horizon House. You've already demonstrated exemplary leadership here, and we want to make sure that we acknowledge you and all that you bring to Horizon House and that you are going to continue to bring here. And we'd like, on behalf of Horizon House, our residents and our staff, we'd like to present you with these flowers. And I'm going to go ahead and actually invite Jan to come on up. She has something she'd like to share as well.
Thanks, Brenda. Erica, to help celebrate your first anniversary, all of us, our community is now your community, your neighborhood, and we have a special way to thank you for doing that. The String-Alongs have adapted the wonderful song. The name of the song? Consider yourself. Listen carefully to the lyrics because they will let you know. This is from Oliver, the wonderful musical. But at the end, the words are just for you. So if you will take a seat so that you can watch this wonderful video.
The next song is Consider Yourself, as you see it on the screen, part of a British movie and stage play in the 1960s. And based on Oliver Twist, the movie is Oliver, which you will remember. Oliver is destitute and he winds up in London and he falls in with a gang of boys and they really like him and they really want to welcome him into their club. So this is a song in which they express that thought to him. They want him to become a member of the family. They want him to become part of the furniture. They just really warmly welcome him. We've added a few stanzas to this to express exactly that same feeling to our new CEO, Erica.
All right, you ready? Bum, 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 bum. 1, 2, 3. Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself part of the family. We've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in. Consider yourself part of the furniture. There isn't a lot to spare. Who cares whatever we got to share? If we should chance to be that we should see some harder days, empty larder days. Why grouse? Always a chance to meet somebody to foot the bill. Then the drinks are on the house. Woo! Consider yourself our friend. Consider yourself tight with the neighborhood. We've waited for you so long. It's clear that we got a burst in song. Consider how much we care. your neighborhood are words that mean to say, yay, thank you for coming along our way. Consider yourself our mate. We don't want to have no fuss, for after some consideration we can say, consider yourself one of us. See if you can figure out which of those verses we added.
Thank you all so much. This is just so meaningful. I appreciate it so much. Thank you all so much. This is such a wonderful surprise, and I really appreciate it. I do feel at home. I absolutely do. So thank you.
All right, well, now we're jumping into our new staff that have joined Horizon House since our last Fireside chat. And in our assisted living department, we welcomed 3 new elder care assistants, Brianna, Meseret, and Amina. In our finance department, we have welcomed Pear as our FP&A analyst. Pear, are you in the room? Pear's in the back giving a nice little wave here. Welcome, Pear. And we've also welcomed Anthony as an elder care assistant in assisted living. We also would like to share with you our milestones. So as a reminder, employees get recognized for every 5 years of service here at Horizon House. We recently celebrated 5 years with Saeed, who is one of our elder care assistants, as well as Hilawe, who is also an elder care assistant in assisted living. And continuing on with assisted living, we also have Haidet, who is one of our LPNs, who has been here 5 years, as well as Ophelia, another elder care assistant. So we're really excited to celebrate these employees and the time that they've shared and dedicated to Horizon House. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Valerie, who's going to introduce our new residents.
I know it's a miracle. I've graduated to brace and 50% scooter. So thank you to everyone who gave me advice and opened doors and offered to do tours. You made it so much more manageable. And I have a good, strong right leg now. It is my pleasure to introduce a couple of our new residents, Warren and Nancy Smith. Would you mind just waving real quick? Thank you. Warren was born in Wyandotte, Michigan. He earned his BA from Albion College and what? I looked it up online and it said Wyandotte. Okay, I tried. I tried really hard to get that right. Boo Google. Warren earned his BA from Albion College and PhD from Harvard. He worked as a chemistry professor and in computer support and was a tutor at White Center Heights, South High School, and the World School. Nancy was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She earned her master's degree in economics and developed and operated many low-income housing projects in downtown Seattle. Warren and Nancy are both UCC members who enjoy walking, reading, and attending plays. Welcome to Horizon House. And they're barely unpacked, and I think Nancy has given me 3 referrals already, so thank you. And David, I saw you when thank you. David Marshak. David was born in Buffalo, New York, and relocated back to Seattle from Arcata, California. He attended MAT University of New Hampshire and earned a BA from Yale and Doctor of Education from Harvard. David's career path included school founder, high school teacher, research assistant, curriculum developer for the Unitarian Universalist Association, public school district assistant superintendent, professor at Seattle University, and founding president of a low residency online global MA program. David is a singer-songwriter who enjoys making new friends and nurturing existing friendships, and is looking forward to renewing his relationship with the natural world in and around Seattle. Welcome, David. And believe it or not, those were actually pared down for time constraints. So I encourage you to look at HH Connect, where Emily has put full biographies, and the residents communications committee has even more in-depth biographies in the mailroom. And next up, updates from Andrew for the wellness department.
Okay, don't do that though. You're gonna give me a heart attack if you do that. You see that? She was trying to skip. Steps, Val, steps. Good morning. Happy Friday to everyone. So yes, I have some updates. One, if you guys remember a couple months back, we did a very large survey, the fall prevention survey. I have in-depth stats for you. That's basically what this is all about. But I did throw in a little extra right at the beginning to talk about one thing that we're going to be doing soon. So if you remember another month ago, we did a class demonstration event partnering with the wellness committee, and it went really, really well. So we wanted to keep doing that on a quarterly basis. So that's what I'm here to promote first. The next class demonstration, Thursday, August 22nd, 2 to 2:45. I booked the room until at least 3, but it's supposed to be 2 to 2:45 right here. We're going to do 3 classes. I know one of the classes for sure is going to be chair cardio. The other 2, I haven't decided yet. We may do a mixture of a couple. So it may be breath and stretch. It may be Tai Chi Quan. It may be both of them. Again, the whole purpose of the class demonstrations is to show, for one, what the classes do. But 2, it's to show why they're important, what exactly they help with, and how no matter what level you are currently at in your physical fitness, you can do the class. Each class can be tailored to your level. So that's the whole point of the class demonstration. So again, that is August 22nd, which is a Thursday, 2 to 2:45 right here. Okay, now into the nitty-gritty stuff. The fall prevention survey. So first, a quick overview. Remember, we had 270 total surveys done and returned. 248, not that you care too much, was emailed return. Other ones were written in. That's about a 57% response rate, with 90 of them being fully finished, which is pretty good. I'll take it. Let me put it that way. I'll take it. So why this is important, it tells us how we are doing as a community from a fall prevention standpoint, how we're feeling, and then areas of opportunity or places where we're doing great. Okay, so I picked out a couple. There were a lot of questions. I picked up the couple that really stood out to me. The first question was actually the very first question on the survey itself. It was, do you sometimes feel unsteady when you walk? If you look, I don't know if you're able to see that, 58% said yes, 42% said no. So about 50%. Now that may seem good, but it's not the greatest, right? In an ideal world, we'd want that to be about at least 70%. We know we're not going to have 100% people that feel steady when walking, but per CDC, they say about 70% within a community. So places we can look at to improve on. A couple other things. Question number 7, it was asked, are you having regularly, at least yearly, visual screenings? Now this one is a good one. Yes, 87%. That's great. We all know how important our vision is, one of our sensory systems that help us balance. So it's very, very, very important to make sure that every year we're getting a checkup to make sure that we're doing all right with our vision. A couple stats from the CDC I will throw out real quick. 1 out of 10 falls have serious injury. 1 out of 10 falls have serious injury, with most of them having to do with not having one sensory system working, meaning like your vision is off, Your proprioception, that's knowing where you are in space, is off. Your hearing is off. Usually it's at least one of those systems being off that helps lead to a fall. A couple stats from here. In 2023, we had a total of 117 falls in this community. 117 falls. Yes. Along with that, right now, 2024, we're at 81. So I'd say we're probably about on par. I don't say that to scare you completely, but it is so that we can bring awareness to it, right? We know that if we fall, we are at more risk of falling again, about 2 to 3 times more at risk of falling again. So if we start thinking about how we can prevent a fall from even happening, the better, right? These numbers go down. We'll all stay healthier and more independent. Along with that, in general, this is all of the United States, all ages. About 1/4 of people fall yearly. So that's what, 25%? Wow, I could do quick math. 25, that was high. If it was a different, oh gosh. But from that also, they find that about 30% of people so 30% in general, like of the 25%, it's more 70% are people that are over the age of 65. Yes, which probably doesn't surprise us too much. But if we think about it that way, in total, they said there was 14 million falls last year. So if we also go back and say 1 in 10 falls is a serious injury, do the math. Oh my gosh, that's what? 4, yes, a lot. Thank you. I didn't want to say the number. Thank you. I think it's 14,000, something like that. That's a lot, right? So it's very, very, very important that we really keep this in our brains the whole time. Okay, next one. I wanted to try a different graph. Now looking at it, it's terrible, so I'm sorry. I just wanted to keep it fresh. So this one, have you identified any of the following environmental concerns in your apartment that can contribute to a fall? So there's many different things that can contribute to a fall, right? Some of them are cluttery cords that are out and about you can trip on, no grab bars where you should have grab bars, rugs or uneven surfaces that aren't nice and tied down, so the rugs are easily movable and slippery. Of course, slippery floors, and then low lighting so that we don't see. We know that a lot of times when we wake up in the middle of the night, we have no lights, we need to go to the bathroom. That is one of the highest chances of falling. So, but something good from this is that 81% of you guys didn't find any of these applied to you, which is great. I know that EVS works really hard, usually on a yearly basis, to make sure that we're living within a safe environment within our community and homes. So that's actually a very good stat. This one, do you take 5 or more prescription medicines? What we know is if you do, you are at much, much, much higher risk of falling. So 64% of you did say no, but 36 did say yes, which for this demographic, right, that doesn't surprise us, right? We all know that we have a lot of different prescription medicines for lots of different reasons. So if you do fall within that percentage of yes, it is important to talk with your doctor, your medical care provider, to talk about what are all the risks with all of these things, what are all the risks of mixing them all up and making some sort of cocktail, which kind of what it is, right? So make sure you have those talks if you are in that percentage. Okay, we're almost there. I promise it's not all bad. Question 15 was, do you participate in at least 30 minutes a day or 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity activity, such as walking briskly? We know to balance, to prevent falls, we need muscular strength, right? I don't think I'm throwing at you anything you don't know. So within this, I saw a beautiful percentage, though. 71% of us said we do. That's awesome. That's very, very good. Of course, I would love that percentage at 100%. That's just me coming from the wellness department, but tip your caps. Good job. Good job. Okay, and then I don't expect you to read all of this. This is more of just a blurb. This is what I got back from the survey itself. These were people saying places they fell or how they fell. Think about that. This fills a whole slide, and actually I had to make it smaller. So there's lots of places, especially we know outside of our community, right? The city streets aren't the nicest. We live on a hill, And so there's many, many different ways we have fallen and can fall. And so it is important to be wary of all of those risks whenever we're going out and about. So now that I told you all that sad stuff, what are we going to do about it? First, we're going to continue to introduce and highlight fall prevention classes like Brian's Tai Chi Quan. If you guys have ever heard of Brian's Tai Chi Quan, it's Tai Chi, but it's very scientifically backed and based to help with fall prevention. It takes about 8 different forms that are specific to balance that they've scientifically tested throughout many years to show helps with balance, and then they take you through a course. So we'll do introduce courses that we're already doing like that. We're also going to be introducing more courses, like I'm going to be introducing a fall and balance course. It's like a circuit. Some of you already took a pre-circuit with me that we kind of tried it. I'm cleaning it all up, and we're going to put it back out there starting in August. Other things, we're going to host fall prevention seminars. We're going to have people, guest speakers come in that talk about all different factors around fall prevention, like one is sleeping, right? We know how important sleep is, and that if we don't get proper sleep, it actually increases our chance of falls. And so that's one of the things we're going to be trying to bring in is speakers that can speak on these specific topics about how to help prevent falls. And of course, we're going to keep doing our ongoing fitness assessments and Berg balance testing that we do 2 times a year. And hopefully we can keep getting better and better. That's really all I have for you guys. I hope you guys have a very, very good rest of your Friday, and I'll see you guys next week. I think next is Joan and Emily.
Thank you, Andrew. Hello, friends. Hello. Today, Emily and I are here to talk about fun with numbers. And, you know, we want to make it fun. I don't know if it's fun. Numbers, they aren't numbers that are like the numbers that Andrew just gave you that are all about your health and well-being. They're kind of different numbers. So, it's all about driving awareness at Horizon House, which I talked about last month in terms of reestablishing the Horizon House presence outside of our walls. It's accurately reflecting the Horizon House personality and culture and casting the widest net to grow that awareness through digital marketing. I heard somebody say, what is digital marketing? Is that you, Mona? Okay. So if you were here last time, I don't know if you were, digital marketing, we're doing 2 things. Well, we've launched 2 things last month regarding digital display and broadcast marketing. Now, we have done digital ads in prestige media. As I talked about last month, we created a whole set of new advertising for Horizon House that reflects our community and that leads to a whole new section on our website that focuses in on a day in the life of a Horizon House resident. And then we also did and are continuing to do audio spots on public radio. So I'm just here to tell you, you're like, well, so, okay, those are out there, so how we doing? Well, the numbers, or what is known as the metrics, give us feedback about these particular initiatives. And, you know, we all know what making a good impression is, right? Well, in marketing, making an impression or getting an impression describes the moment at which an ad is loaded on a web page. It is an opportunity for an ad to be seen, heard by a potential customer. Oops. And it measures the visibility of an online ad. So, in growing awareness for people out there who might not be aware of Horizon House or maybe haven't thought about it in a while, here's what we're going to show.
So these are the impressions over the last 30 days that we have gotten from our ads on Prestige Media. It is online media outlets such as CNN, New York Times, King 5, Washington Post, Weather.com, Cairo 7, Politico, Seattle Times, and NPR. Kind of a Horizon Housey group of outlets, right? So let's give you the numbers. This is the fun part. Well, for me anyway. So 64,026 impressions on CNN. 49,289 impressions on the New York Times. And all the way down, you can see quite a large number of impressions for our digital ads online. But the impression, let's go back. The impression describes the moment at which an ad is loaded onto a web page. It's the opportunity for an ad to be seen, heard by a potential customer, and measures the visibility of the ad. So in total, that's 334,000 impressions. So we are getting out there, people. Now, broadcast impressions from June. I played you all our audio ad that plays on KUOW last month. Well, on KUOW, we have received 814,000 impressions. So we're out there. Now, just last week, we started some ads on Google. So far on Google, we have received 8,700 impressions in a week, and already 641 viewers have clicked an ad to go to our website. Facebook, we've had 202,000 impressions in about a couple of weeks, with 3,747 viewers clicking on the ad to go to the website, to the Horizon House website. So our grand total of impressions, that's a drum roll, 1,357,000 impressions for Horizon House. Yay! Now, making a good impression is just the start, all right? So we're growing awareness. We want people to see our ads. We want people to click on an ad to go to our website. We want people to start growing their interest, which eventually may lead to more Horizon House residents, and among all the other marketing things that we do here. All right, thank you. And I just want to turn it over to Ms. Emily Wallace, and she has some fun numbers on a completely different topic.
Totally different. I am going to talk a little bit about paper. So we've been talking a lot about sustainability this week, and since the board recently adopted sustainability as a new core value for our community, we thought that you might be interested in some sustainability and other statistics about paper usage in our community. So here are some paper usage statistics, food for thought. We'll start with the alert. So we print 350 alerts every week, and that is 1,050 sheets of paper per week, and that is over 54,000 sheets of paper every year, which sometimes makes the printer tired and sad. Up next, the elevator signs. You know them, you love them. On average, we have 4 per day, and when you ride an elevator and you see 4 signs per day, it doesn't seem like a lot, but we have 11 elevators, and if you multiply that by 11 elevators, that's 44 per day, 308 every week, and that's over 16,000 sheets of paper every year for the elevator signs. But we are not just going to talk about communications paper statistics today. So Jay in resident services also tracks resident paper use. So residents use about 7,600 sheets of paper every month. And that totals to over 91,000 sheets of paper every year. Yeah, this is the resident services machine and the printer in the mailroom. So that's a lot of paper. And we're just looking, just residents, just the two communications things. So if we just look at those three things, just the residents and just the elevator signs and the alert, how much is that really? If we combine those three things, that is over 1,600 pounds of paper, which is more than a well-fed adult male polar bear. And if you were to stack it, that would be a stack of paper 50 feet high. That's a lot of paper. And why am I telling you this? Really, this is just food for thought. But what can we do about all of the paper? We know we use a lot of paper here at Horizon House. So let's talk a little bit about cubby stuffing. Is it as effective as you think? We've actually had quite a few residents indicate that they're not as interested in receiving things in their cubby. So perhaps if you have something that you'd like to distribute to all of your colleagues, maybe instead of stuffing it in all of the cubbies, you put a stack of fewer in the mailroom and allow people to look at it, see if they're interested, and they can take a copy if they'd like, but you don't have to put it in every single person's cubby. Perhaps you can also talk to the front desk and see if they would be interested in keeping a master copy, and they can maybe run off more if someone asks and would like more copies. And I will never miss an opportunity to talk about HH Connect. Every single committee has its own page, and you can use that page to share information digitally. You can put a document or an announcement. You can share information with other residents that way as well. And what about the alert? Well, we print hard copies and put them in the mailroom. We also have it available on HH Connect. But what about also emailing it? So beginning next week, communications will also email the alert on Thursday afternoons. And we are thinking that maybe if we do this, residents might like this. Some residents might prefer to read it in their emails. Maybe this will become how they read it every week. And maybe over time, we need to print fewer of those hard copy alerts for the mailroom. And maybe our 50-foot stack of paper can get a little bit shorter over time. You might, but we'll still put them in the mailroom. We're not going to get rid of the printed copies. So up next, we have Brian Holtz with Operation Updates.
Thank you, Em. Yeah, perhaps you'll be able to print less, and we'll see. Instead of 350, we start with 300, and how does that work? That'd be wonderful. I love the embracing our new value, and the value of being good stewards. Sustainability goes hand in hand. One of the things I do not have a slide on that I'm just going to mention is, thankfully, we do not have wildfire smoke that we're having to deal with today. Thankfully. However, we may. Between now, we don't have a fireside chat in August, and so I just wanted to mention that if that happens, we usually communicate to the community. We'll try to use digital display, not in the elevators, that we need to take certain steps. Also, it's a suggestion that you wear an N95 masks. And so Horizon House has some that we can provide if we get into that time where we have to navigate poor air quality. So if that happens, I hope not, I just want to remind you that that is something that we have to deal with now, unfortunately. And part of the West Coast is definitely having to navigate that now, and we're not right now. So one of the things I want to talk about is elevators. And when elevators go down, it's not to save paper. So Emily, we don't do that to try to navigate saving paper. So unfortunately, we've had some challenges with number 10, and our residents in the North Tower are those that want to visit and navigate the North Tower. Elevator 10 has been down. We tried a number of things to try to get it back online sooner, and we finally determined from our representative that we need to replace the belts, and they were ordered. We hope that they'll get here, as shown on the screen, near early part of August, and then they tell me 2 days to get it repaired, and I tell you a week, just because is the way it is, then we have to test. So we're really excited for you to get that back. The other thing is, I've mentioned before, is that we have our representative, her name's Becky. She's coming next Wednesday to come in here and talk to the residents about elevators and to talk about kind of elevator 101, talk about Horizon House and her engagement with us, and since she came on to the Horizon House property because we changed vendors with them, and an opportunity for question and answers with the residents. So hopefully you can make that, and Risa and Nick were talking about perhaps recording it so that if you miss it, you'll be able to see that later. Gosh, I'm talking again about access control. However, keys are available. We put a memo out to the residents that you can now pick up your new keys at the reception center, right? And they're these orange keys. And if you, as a reminder, we were providing one per resident, and you can't put a hole in the key. So we have these clear sleeves that you can put them in. And as a reminder, you'll still need your old key, like I have both of mine here, because when you see an old lock, you use your old key. When you encounter the new lock, which is very noticeable, then you'll just use your orange key. We have circumstances where neighbors may want to come and care for pets and plants and things like that. As you go out, you just let us know, and what we'll do is, if we have your permission, we then put your apartment on that helper's key so they can just use their key. And so similar with housekeepers and caregivers, if we know that we have your permission. So some of our residents have already received the new locks on their doors, and as a reminder, you don't need to be home because we're going to continue to stay on schedule. We did get delayed a little bit, to be quite frank, with the first installation of staff doors, because unlike apartment doors that are relatively all the same, the staff doors and the offices and mechanical spaces, they're very different when you go door to door, and so it took a little bit to get through that first set of doors. And so get your key in advance, go down and get it from the reception center. And as a reminder, if you're in Central and East Tower, that'll be a few weeks till we get over there, and the West Wing will be several weeks. So if you obtain your key, certainly keep it in a safe place. We had a couple of occasions where a resident came home and their key was in the apartment, and so we can let you in. And actually, Zoe yesterday unlocks a resident's apartment from the front desk because the resident's key was in their apartment and the resident got in their apartment. So the features that we talked about are very effective. So they are drilling holes in the doors, and if you have a pet, please take measures to make sure that our installers aren't herding cats down the hall or anything like that. The last thing about doors is we're aware that these Terry doors have not been working for us. That's on the old system, and because of how antiquated it is, it's been extremely difficult. We can't get them back up with the old system, and our schedule was to have perimeter doors done last. However, I'm looking at getting just these perimeter doors done next week so that we can get through those doors. So yes, I'm sorry, and we're excited to get that. So if you want to navigate through those doors, you absolutely will need that new orange key. We're very excited that this project is now at the point where we're able to use our new locks and keys. So thank you for your patience. Next, my buddy Jeff going to talk about food and beverage.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Brian. All right, well, happy Friday to everyone. How are we doing today? Good. Just a couple quick slides today. I wanted to talk about some of our most recent events. So we had a really nice barbecue down on the Parkview Terrace on the 4th of July. I was really hoping for 8 more residents. I wanted to hit that 200 mark, but 192 is quite a good number for us on any event we're doing. So we were happy to see that. We have Maggie and Trang there behind the line working the food there, and it was a really great event.
all indoor and outdoor seating. Oliver did a great job getting everything set up, so it was a lot of fun, and thanks for coming out for that. We also had our farmers market on July 17th. Have a nice picture there of some of the residents. I think that was like our third or fourth installment of monthly farmers market. Have been going pretty well. We'll have our next one scheduled for August 21st, which is a Wednesday, so 2 to 4 on that. So look for more information as we get closer to that date. But those have been a lot of fun, and it's a good chance for you all to use your choice dining dollars to purchase some wine and some fresh produce, vegetables, and fruits and that kind of stuff. So check it out. And then my last slide is our monthly brunch buffet is coming up. We're going to do an English-style brunch, so I hope we do well on that. And featuring things like broccoli cheddar quiche, some country ham, fried bread, kind of thing, and just loading up a big plate of all the good stuff for you and have a nice meal that day. So come join us 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Sunday. No reservations needed, and hope you have a good time with that. And that's all I got, nice and quick. Next we'll welcome Patty Flowers with Partners in Caring.
Well, it's me again with Partners in Caring. Just to remind you something about our year-long endowment fund, and just to tell you something about it. Let's see, where is my... Sue is not here. She's up in the air today. So there you go. We have received over $375,000 in gifts and pledges. And again, this is an endowment fund that we can spend the interest on different things. And the things we spend it on go to, it's not clicking. Okay. Let's try this. All right. Residence assistance, and we've talked about that, staff scholarships, and also enrichment grants. Now, a little bit about those things is this year we've helped 6 residents with over $245,000 through the Residence Assistance Program. This is residents who, through no fault of their own, have run out of money, and so this is help that we give them. We've helped 38 staff and 17 of their dependents with college expenses and over $82,000 through the staff scholarship program. And we've given out 7 grants with $16,000 to fund the staff and resident projects through the enrichment grant. Now, these enrichment grants go out in the spring, and they also go out in the fall. And we want to remind you that there is a fall deadline for these, and it's Monday, September the 5th. So if you think you have a really good idea of an enrichment grant for Horizon House, please see Ruth Ann Ford or see Charlene, because we have $25,000 that we can award for enrichment grants. Some of the grants that have been enriched is the quilting machine down in the sewing room. It's gotten a lot of use. And also fanny packs for the assisted living staff. These are just good ideas that people come up with that they think could add to our community. Whether your gift is large or small, it matters. And please, if you have an idea for those enrichment grants, reach out to Ruth Ann or to Charlene in the philanthropy office. And we thank you. Now, thank you. Gary Fuller. Gary Fuller is next up.
Thank you, Patty. Well, here we are. I've been given this spot to publicize one of the fun events of the year, and that is the summer picnic. And if I could, backwards, Gary, you can get shot here. Okay. Oh, so the summer picnic is on Thursday, September 5th, and the theme is the fabulous Love Boat. And you're all going to be on the Love Boat ship this year, so we encourage you to join us. Reservations will begin to take the reservations on Monday, August 12th, and reservation forms will be available in the mail room. And right now, what we're encouraging is everyone to participate and consider attending, because the D-level terrace can accommodate 200 people maximum if we all squeeze together, so we can have an enjoyable evening. So that we're trying to encourage you to put together a group. So put together a group of 8 or 6 people, and that will help us start to fill up some tables. But please do not be restricted by that. If you just want to come to the picnic, we have an area called the community table. So please sign up as an individual for the community table, because we want as many people there as possible, but do remember we have a 200 capacity. And we also I wanted to thank again the people on the committee who've done the legwork, because they know what you like best. They know what kind of menu you like, what kind of entertainment you like, and we're going to have the best party humanly possible. So please join us on Thursday, September 5th for a great party. It's from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, so you can come and go. It'll be a buffet, so there'll be strolling music, and it's just good for conversation. We don't expect everybody to stay the entire time, so some people's schedules mean that they can't be there at 11 or they can't stay until 2. You don't need to do that. We just want you to show up and express your friendship with your neighbors and with your fellow residents. So I'm now turning everything over to our captain, Erica, who will do announcements and bright spots.
What a fun theme. How many of you used to spend Saturday nights watching The Love Boat? I'm guilty. And then I think Fantasy Island was up next. So wonderful favorites. All right, well, we are making good time, and I'm going to close us out with a few things. I want to announce that the small group sessions are coming up again. We're very excited. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's where we get an opportunity to really hear from you in a small group setting. So you can see the dates. We've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, August 13th, 14th, and 15th. As you know, these are RSVP because they are limited capacity. So please RSVP and submit your agenda topics to Beth. We like to, have some discussion at the beginning based on things that you say is important. All right, so now up our bright spots. July was so much fun. I had the great opportunity of being here on 4th of July, so I also know what Jeff is talking about. We had a huge group for the barbecue, but we also had a wonderful group up at Assisted Living, and we had a watermelon eating contest. So it was great. This was, collaborative residents from Assisted Living, Independent Living, and even Javier, who is a member of our IT team. Now, I'll be honest, everybody did a great job. There wasn't really a winner because everybody they ate a lot of watermelon, but everybody got a participation award. So then we had a wonderful collaborative community event. It was our Brain Health Block Party. By a show of hands, how many people got a chance to attend? Oh, a big number. And so that was collaborative. That was Horizon House and the First Hill Improvement Association who put that on. So thank you to all those who participated. This is a phenomenal topic, and I'm glad to see that people outside of, senior living and aging services understand how important it is and wanted to support. And then this is so recent, but just this week we had the wonderful opportunity to host the EPA and the King County's press conference. And I want to say a moment about this. It was so interesting for me. I'm someone who, before I came here, was very, very involved with local government, county, even up to national government in Washington. And so this was my first opportunity. But what was so unique to me is that these elected officials and government leaders, they know Horizon House. And what they really know are the residents. And they brought it up. They said, You are our mentors. You are the people who kind of charted the way, and we're, standing on your shoulders, kind of finishing work that you already started. They all knew. I have to say, even Executive Constantine from the King County said, "Oh, I know Horizon." As soon as I introduced, I'm telling him something new, he looked at me. "I know Horizon House. I know so many people who live here. A matter of fact, I need to get on the waiting list." So I'm going to hold him to that, sales team. But it just, again, continues to reinforce, just how dynamic Horizon House is. And thank you to the residents who came and supported, really the county, the city. This was a huge deal because not only is it a grant that supports buildings just like ours to help reduce carbon emissions, but it was collaborative. This is King County, Pierce County, and Snohomish County, which, we all share the air. So this was a really, really wonderful thing to do. All right, so we have just a few minutes. We've got 4 minutes. So if you have questions, maybe we can all spend a little time answering. All right, I guess we've got one. Okay. Mona's over here. She's got a question.
I may not have been here when the new keys were discussed, but do you have to take the key out of the plastic holder in order to flash it?
No, and you don't even have to touch it. It's if you're in proximity even, it will unlock. So no, you don't have to take it out of the plastic. All right, Ronnie has a question.
So I was a little confused by Joan's presentation regarding first impressions. It seemed to me as though the first impressions was just sort of the number of times that the digital ad appeared, but it was not related to the number of times that any prospective resident actually viewed it or went to our website. Am I correct about that? Can you explain that a little more?
Hi, Ronnie. It's like driving, say you drive back and forth on the same road every day, back and forth, and there's a billboard. Okay, so you see it, okay. So it is roughly a measurement of how many times an ad can be seen, okay. There are other metrics that tell us, who clicks on an ad and if that goes to the website, but I didn't want to gum up the works too much. So suffice it to say, having our digital ads out there is growing the awareness because we are being seen in the online world. Make sense?
Yes, and I have another question about the prestige locations. If we are trying to diversify our community more, should we be looking to other locations where we have our ads besides the prestige locations?
Prestige is, yes. Prestige, there's a whole big listing. I was just giving you the very tops. And these ads are bought, and again, I won't go into a lot of detail. They're bought from what we can see as a white list and a black list. Now, obviously, we're not going to be on Breitbart, okay? So that doesn't even get into the mix, all right? But we have other ways to gain interest from potential residents other than prestige media. Prestige media is just one way, okay? And it's by just tapping in to those people that we know are likely to look at those and be potential Horizon House residents. That's not to say that we won't be doing other things to capture other audiences.
And what do you mean by white and black?
A blacklist is all kinds of publications where we wouldn't want to be seen, like Playboy.com or Breitbart.com, or give me another one. Fox, we're not going to be on Fox News, okay? Doesn't make sense for our dollars.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your questions.
Back to our new entrance things for our rooms. If we are programmed for the swimming pool, for the woodworking room, or for other rooms within the building, are those going to transfer onto our new orange entrance tickets?
I see Mark shaking his head, so that is yes.
Thank you.
All right, we've got one in the back.
In the interest of sustainability, I think we could reduce our electricity bill a bit. I get in the pool at usually a little before 6 in the morning, and usually the lights are on full bore for the whole pool. Now, I don't see any reason why, when it closes at 9 o'clock to 6 in the morning, we have all that electricity down there. Couldn't the night watchman or somebody turn those lights and just use a safety light rather than all the lights on the pool?
So to answer that question, they are turned off at night, but early in the morning before you get there, there are people that make rounds through the pool area and other areas in the building. They not only inspect the pool for the quality of the water, but we also inspect it for other various things. And so that's probably why you're seeing the lights on early in the morning.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate the wonderful surprise. I bet I'm the only leader that has a whole music tribute, and I am so happy. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.